Hi, my name is Gina Sunderland. I am the Food and Consumer Relations Specialist with Manitoba Chicken Producers. And it is September, and that means it is National Chicken Month. So I am so excited to be joined here by Karlee Penner, one of our Manitoba Chicken Producers farmers. Thank you for coming out to join me, Karlee.
Thank you for having me. Very excited.
I'm really excited to have you. So maybe you could share a little bit about your life on the farm.
Okay, so I am a fourth generation chicken farmer. The family farm has been in the family for many, many generations. We've all lived and passed on the farm from the parent to son or daughter. So yeah, I've been farming since I was very young, and I now farm with my husband. And yeah, we very much enjoy farming.
That is wonderful. I'm so excited to hear more about your farming. So something I was talking to you about is, what is your earliest memory of being in the barn with your chickens?
Yeah. So one of my earliest memories would probably be walking through the barn with my sister.
Okay.
We used to do chores in the same barn together, and so it was a good bonding time, and my dad would send us in the barn and say, tell me if there's any problems, tell me what the birds are doing, let me know what's wrong in the barn, if everything's good. And then that also taught us to take responsibility for our own birds and being able to tell them, okay, this is what's wrong, why is this wrong, and he would teach us how to fix any problem we found in the barns. And then later, my sister and I each took our own barns, and then we would compete to see who could raise the best birds or the healthiest birds at the end of the batch. And that we had to take responsibility for any problems that happened in our batch, because they would show in our results, and that was on us. That was not on anybody else, because those were our birds and our barns, and that was a great thing that we got taught early on.
That is amazing. Good for you. So you just love it. And I think something that really resonates when I've been getting to know you over the past few months is you said to me that your happy place is really, it's where's your happy place? Tell everyone.
Happy place is in the barns. Being able to walk through the barns is always great. Having the peace of knowing that our birds are good.
Right.
Everything is good in there, and like being able to see the birds be happy and just living their best life in an environment that we help create for them. And that's
excellent.
Very happy, yeah.
I love that. So I'm going to ask you a few more questions about your life on the farm and being a chicken farmer, and it's so fascinating because so many people have never had an opportunity to actually meet and talk to a chicken farmer. So we're going to open up the floor too at the end of this Facebook Live, and you can ask Karlee all the questions that you have about chicken farming here in Manitoba and Canada. But right now we are going to jump into our first delicious recipe. So Karlee is going to make our chicken cheeseburger pizza, and you can see the finished pizza here that she made earlier with me. So I'm going to let you get started with that, Karlee. So the first step was that we got those crusts, and we go ahead, you can share.
So these crusts are pre-baked, and so that whenever you're ready to actually make your pizzas, like you can pre-bake them, you can buy pre-baked in the store.
Exactly.
So they're great, easy. You can always put these in the freezer. These are pre-baked beforehand, and they can be always put in the freezer, so whenever you need them, pull them out and you can use them. So what we first did was we browned our ground chicken so that it's all cooked and stuff, and then we actually added some chopped onions and some garlic in here. And so now I'm going to add a pinch of salt, a bit of salt and pepper in there. And then also we're going to use a small jar of pizza sauce. I'm going to mix that in there as well.
Yeah, and I love, something we were saying, one of our favorite things to have on hand in our pantry is pizza sauce, and in our freezer we love to have a couple pounds of ground chicken. Yeah, and you were telling me that you and your husband, you use ground chicken all the time.
Oh, yeah, yes. We love using, like, the chicken. Ground chicken can be put in place of any ground meats. I often replace it for instead of using ground beef or stuff like that. Yeah. And it's a healthier option to a lot of meats because it's a very lean meat. Yes. And it's just a healthy option.
Yeah, and it's great. You can use it in things like, of course, pizza and tacos and spaghetti sauce. The sky is the limit. And we love this chicken cheeseburger pizza. It's so easy. Just mix it all together. And you were mentioning that you are in university. So you are, and what are you doing at university?
I am in the Ag Diploma program. So I'm in the faculty at the University of Manitoba. So I'm in the Faculty of Agriculture. I plan to graduate this year, and
good for you.
Yeah, so I made the choice to go into agriculture and the Faculty of Agriculture. I decided at a young age I wanted to take over a family farm and start farming for a living. So I thought when I graduated, I may as well go to school to get to know more about the industry, more about managing a farm and doing the finances for a farm.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot involved with farming.
yeah, there's
Good
a
for
lot
you.
involved. So I decided to go into the Ag Diploma program because it gives you a lot of hands-on farm plan, stuff like that.
Excellent,
in that
yeah.
program. Yeah.
Super good, super practical program. And this is such a great student meal, right?
Yeah.
So you get home from a busy day at school or from all your online courses and away you go. You've got supper on the table right away. All right, so what are you going to do with that next?
Okay, so I'm going to take the mixture I've made and I'm going to spread it over my pre-baked pizza crust.
Looks good, Karlee.
Yeah. I often like using, like, even with these pre-baked pizza crusts, if I have some leftover chicken or something, I can often take out one of these.
Yeah.
I often put some, I love barbecue chicken pizzas, so I'll often put barbecue chicken or barbecue as my base and just use that chicken, even leftover chicken, throw that on there, some of your toppings, throw it in the oven for a few minutes.
Exactly.
And it makes a great quick meal, and I know my husband absolutely loves it.
That's awesome. Yeah, chicken is super versatile, and we have these great recipes on our manitobachicken.ca website and a whole bunch more. This is our brand new pizza recipe, so we're excited to feature it. And then are you just going to top that with some cheese?
Yeah, just going to add some
Perfect.
cheese on top.
And this is a cheeseburger pizza because we're using both mozzarella and cheddar cheese. That is looking so good.
Yeah.
That's delicious. So we were talking a little earlier, and something that you shared with me that I found fascinating, and I know, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of people too in various trade shows and that, and share the knowledge that I've learned about chicken farming. But I was asking you too, what is one of the biggest myths that you'd like to dispel about chicken farming? I think this is really good and important news.
Yeah, so one of the biggest myths and one of the biggest questions I have about chicken farming is, like, are birds raised with hormones and steroids? There's a lot of ads out there these days that'll say that our chicken is raised without hormones or without steroids, kind of pointing out that they're the only ones, when really it's been illegal in Manitoba and Canada to use any hormones or steroids in any chicken for many, many years.
Yeah, you said even before you were born.
Even before I was born,
since the 60s. And I think that's such a great news story, that there are no hormones or steroids in any chicken in all of Canada, including Manitoba. Well, Karlee, that looks delicious. So that can just go in the oven at about 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then you were saying how you love to then top this with your favorite cheeseburger toppings.
Afterwards, this would be the one we baked before, and we love using some lettuce on there, and even sometimes some chopped up tomatoes, just some extra sauce, and you can also add your hamburger sauce and extra sauces on there just to give that extra cheeseburger flavor in there.
Delicious. Well, it looks great. It's easy, and I am super excited to make this next recipe. It's our crispy Parmesan chicken strips. But before I move into that, a Facebook Live would not be a Facebook Live if we didn't have great prize packs. So for anyone that's just tuning in, this is our National Chicken Month Facebook Live with Manitoba chicken producers. And just for tuning into this live, we've got some excellent prize packs. Of course, we've got this wonderful signature Manitoba Chicken Producers meat thermometer. We've got two $50 grocery gift cards. And we were talking about, chicken is so quick and so versatile, and these recipes are quick to prepare. The best way to know that your chicken is done, if it is skinless, boneless chicken or chicken parts, meat thermometer, 160 degrees, 165 degrees into the thickest part of the chicken, and you know your chicken is perfectly done. For whole chicken, whole roast chicken, it's 180 degrees. So we'll be giving away these. We'll also be giving away those $50 grocery gift cards so you can purchase all your chicken and ingredients to make these great recipes. And we're going to be sending out, and for anyone who wants one of these, this is our brand new Now You're Cooking with Manitoba Chicken education booklet. It's got great farming facts, food safety tips, and of course it's got these two wonderful recipes in it and more. Karlee and I were talking a little bit about food safety, so just a reminder, anytime you're going to be working with raw chicken, designate a plastic board for doing that, and then you can use a wooden board for any of your veggies or any of your other ingredients like bread or pizza crust. And of course, we scrubbed our hands before we got started. So this recipe uses a different cut of chicken. There's so many different cuts of chicken. It uses skinless, boneless chicken breasts. It's about 3 breasts for this recipe, and I just cut them in strips to save time, and then you make this delicious coating. Now, this is another really healthy recipe. I mean, all of us love chicken fingers or chicken strips, right? Can't go wrong, but this is a baked recipe instead of being fried. So we've got about half a cup of mayonnaise. a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, that gives a lot of flavor, 1/2 teaspoon of our dried basil, and then we've just got about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard or any other favorite mustard, and you combine that, and this is what you're going to coat your chicken with. So quick. And then I've got these delicious panko crumbs, about 1 cup for those chicken breasts, and another 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and boy, that Parmesan just adds a full burst of flavor. Give that a quick mixing. And then these bake at 425 degrees, and they only take about 14 minutes because the chicken is cut quite thin strips. So I am going to just show you how quick it is to make a few of these, and you can see the finished product over there. So we're going to just put a couple of these in our panko. I turn these over at about 7 minutes, and I usually make a double batch because we love having these for lunch the next day, or even serving them over a salad cold, chopping them up, and they are just so good, and you know, they disappear fast, so a double batch is a great way to go. So they're just coated like that, and they just bake. So that's how simple these 2 recipes are. Super for back to school. And you know, I really want to hand it to all of you chicken farmers. We have 123 family-owned farms here in Manitoba, and you guys have been just incredible. We're so lucky that we have access to local chicken, superior source of protein year-round, 12 months in a year, because you guys raise your chickens in barns. But I mean, really, we know this has been difficult times with everything that has been going on with COVID. And it is just so wonderful that all of the chicken farmers have really risen to this challenge and have continued to supply us here in Manitoba and across Canada with a healthy, safe, nutritious supply of chicken right through all this. So thank you to you and your family and all of your chicken farmer colleagues. Yeah, so now I'd love to open up the floor and allow any questions to come through to Karlee or myself.
Okay, so Mark has a question for you. Do you recommend washing your chicken before cooking?
Well, maybe I'll answer that question. I think Karlee and I both know the answer, but you absolutely do not need to wash or rinse your chicken. Wash your hands, not your chicken, is what I like to say. Chicken just simply needs to be cooked to the right temperature. So your best kitchen tool, Mark, is to get a meat thermometer and check the internal temperature of your chicken so you know that it's cooked perfectly every time. Yeah.
We have a question from Ashley. Do you have any suggested alternatives for the cheese and the chicken strips other than Parmesan? She has a picky family.
Okay. Well, you could use any other favorite grated cheese, and what I would recommend doing is not adding it to the mayonnaise, but you could add other grated cheese to the panko crumbs, and I have done that, and it works just as well. So pick your favorite cheese. You know, a nice mild cheese like an Edam or a mozzarella or a cheddar would work well too. Thanks for that question, Ashley.
Tita is wondering if you can freeze the Parmesan or chicken strip recipe.
Absolutely. You can freeze them at this point and then pull them out and put them in the oven, or you can bake them completely, Tita, and then freeze them once they're fully baked. A great little tip is that you can actually freeze cooked chicken to use in all kinds of recipes. Like you were talking about, you and your husband like to make that barbecue chicken pizza, and you can freeze that cooked chicken. Yeah, and then pull it out.
Pull it out whenever I need it for any recipe, which is great to have. I love having even cooked and frozen chicken on hand. Just even for like making lunches or stuff like that, to have that chicken, like I can quickly take it out and make something with it because it's already pre-cooked. I don't have to take time to do that. I just gotta let it thaw, and like it works great for many different things because it takes on kind of the flavor of like what it's being put into. And it's so good with so many different flavors that like if I just have cooked chicken with no seasoning, nothing on it, I can use it for so many different things. Like, even like just throwing it in a pizza and it works. Just from so great,
classic chicken salad sandwiches, pizza, tacos, the sky's the limit, topping a salad.
Add that extra nutrition to your salads and stuff.
That extra protein that we all need. Awesome.
So I think Mark tuned in late, but you had spoken about this, Karlee. He wants to know if chickens in Manitoba are raised with hormones or steroids. Maybe you could speak to that again.
Sure.
No birds in Manitoba or Canada are raised with any hormones or steroids. It's been illegal in Manitoba and Canada for many, many, many decades.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been banned since the 60s, so that is a really important point to get across. So whether your chicken says that on the label or not, there are no hormones or steroids used. And something that you can look for when you are shopping for your fresh packs of chicken is look for the Raised by a Canadian Farmer logo on your chicken, and you can be guaranteed that you are getting nutritious, delicious, local chicken, Canadian chicken. So yeah, that's a great thing to look for.
Okay, and one last question. This one's from Janice. How long can you freeze chicken breasts before they're freezer burnt?
In a deep freeze, you can freeze them 6 to even 9 months if you give them an extra wrapping. And I mean, whole chicken can be kept in a freezer for a year. So definitely when you do see it and it's on sale, stock up. It's just such a great ingredient to have on hand. Like Karlee and I were saying, so versatile. You can go into so many recipes. Yeah. So Karlee, I have one more question for you actually when it comes to raising chicken. Something that was really interesting that you shared with me that I think a lot of people don't realize is, what do you feed your chickens? And this was so interesting. So if you could share a little bit about this.
Yeah, so we actually feed our birds a bunch of milled grains like wheat, barley, corn, soybeans, stuff like that. It's milled down and then put into pellets. So it's very important that we make sure that our birds are getting the right amount of protein and other nutrients at certain points of their life.
Yes.
So that is actually taken care of by our feed companies. And then we get the feed, we just tell them what stage of life we're at for our birds. And so there's starter feeds, and then we have some finishers. So they have different sizes of pellets for the different age of chicks and the size of the chicks. Yeah, just to make sure that those birds are getting exactly what they need, exactly when they need it.
Yeah, just like us, we need different vitamins and minerals to grow and be healthy. And something else that I think is great, and I want to say congratulations and happy National Chicken Month, because today is the day that you guys, you placed.
Yeah, we placed our chicks this morning, so we got brand new chicks in the barn. So
what an exciting day. So you've already had a super busy day.
Yes.
I know that's a busy day, it's an early morning, but you've got a healthy new flock of chicks in your barn to raise throughout the month of Chicken Month, which I think is just fantastic. Something else that I just, found I learned so much from talking to you, Karlee. You mentioned something about when those chicks are in the barn, there are certain things that you really look for when you walk through the barn to make sure that those chickens are comfortable, and that yes, you've got this technology with apps on your phone, but there's nothing better than that walk through the barn. What are just some of the things that you look for? Because you've got so much skill. You're young, but you know so much. So.
So some of the things that we look at when we walk through the barns is when you first step into that barn, you right away are feeling the air, the temperature, and also reading what the birds are telling you. If it's too cold in there, the birds will be huddling together, and you can read what your birds are telling you by the way they're acting, not just your control panels. And so you got to make sure that you check the air quality, make sure it's not too humid in there, because that will cause a lot of problems. Humidity, birds do not like humidity, just like we don't like our humidity. So temperature and air quality is a big thing that we check when we get into the barns, as well as air movement. We don't want any stale air, sitting air in there, because then it doesn't get free in the barn. We all like fresh air, as well as making sure the birds have feed and the right amount of feed, and that they can easily reach the feed, as well as good water flow, fresh water. We always make sure all our lines are clean at the beginning of the batch and throughout the batch, just so the birds are always getting the clean water. Also just looking at the birds, seeing what they're telling you, because little things will tell you, oh, that bird's not quite walking right, something's off in the barn. So take those little cues and put that into raising better birds.
So there's so much expertise that goes into this to ensure that we all have access to that healthy, nutritious chicken year round. And you're doing just such a phenomenal job with your husband and with your family. So I really want to thank you. And you're just a wealth of knowledge, and it's just been such an absolute pleasure to have you come and join me this evening for this National Chicken Month Facebook Live. So Karlee, I really want to thank you. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and expertise. And to all our Manitoba chicken producers, farmers, happy National Chicken Month and happy back to school, everyone. We hope you enjoy our new recipes. please reach out to us with a direct message. We'd be happy to send you one of our brand new Now You're Cooking with Manitoba chicken booklets with these great recipes. They're also on our website, and we will be selecting winners and sending you direct messages if you won one of our 2 prize packs this evening. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you very much, Karlee. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.